All right, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us early Monday morning. We have our coffee. My name is Neil Barrett. I'm the Interim Chief External Affairs Officer for OHCS Disaster Recovery and Resilience. Thanks again for attending today's informational session. We're going to talk about a survey we've developed to gain feedback on how ReOregon programs are addressing unmet needs as a result of the 2020 Labor Day wildfires and straight light winds. So on the agenda today, we have Executive Director Andrea Bell. They'll talk more about the background of the why we're here today, and then I'll provide some details on the survey process before closing us out. If you have any questions, you can enter them into the Q&A function on your screen with your contact information or email, or you can email them to ohcs.drr@hcs.oregon.gov, which we'll make sure to put that into the chat so you guys can have access to that email address. And then we'll compile questions, and if there's any follow-up we need to provide, we will do that. And so without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Director Bell.
Thanks, Neil. Good morning, everybody. Really good to be in virtual community with you this morning. As Neil mentioned, Andrea Bell, she, her pronouns, the Executive Director here at Oregon Housing and Community Services. First off, let me just give a very brief appreciation for you taking a few minutes to spend some time with us top of the morning on Monday. I know days and mornings are commitment filled, and so the fact that you took a few minutes to spend some time is not lost on us, and we will look to be prudent and efficient with you today. First, let me just also start with an expanded and perhaps a rear view mirror thank you. We have spent a lot of time, the disaster recovery team have spent a lot of time with folks over these past few years, really thinking about how we can collectively help with not only rebuilding, but also restoring faith and into our systems that are intended to show up for folks and make everyday life a little bit easier. We know that when there is a loss such as this, there is not only the physical manifestation of loss, but we also know that this impacts mental health and just the restoration of what it means to navigate people's day-to-day. And so we appreciate you all giving us critical feedback along the way. We appreciate you all staying engaged and giving us really honest and specific feedback, both around what's working well and where there might be some shortcomings on things. Thank you for being a partner to us to help ensure that what we are doing is going to manifest as progress with respect to the needs of each person and each community. And that is really the prism by which I asked for some time with each of you today. There is still a whole lot more work to do, and particularly over the conversations we've had over these last few months, we have heard a lot of areas of continued feedback. Feedback about what's working well, what we need to embrace, what we need to do more of, and then things that are not working well and where people have given us honest feedback where we need to go back to the drawing board in that. I have heard that, as Neil has mentioned, we have heard you loud and clear in that. And so we want to make sure that we can keep growing in the feedback and also make sure that we are providing an avenue for partners, particularly partners that are working specifically with survivors around what you want to see more of. And so with that in mind, we have developed a survey for our partners to be able to give us some very specific feedback around what we need to do more of, what's working well, what is working in respect to the needs of folks in your community, and then flat out what isn't working and what you want to see more of. I think many of you know that in 2022, we conducted a series of engagements and public meetings in a lot of the impacted counties to really get some of this direct feedback. Much of that feedback has helped to drive a lot of the policy decisions and programmatic decisions that comprise the ReOregon Action Plan. And we know that there is more work to do with that. So as we think about future changes that we need to make, we want to make sure that that is not done with OHCS lens in mind. We want to make sure that those closest to the pain have the opportunity to shape policy and programmatic decisions decisions that we make. At the end of the day, our job collectively is to be of service to you, to be of service to the people of Oregon that are impacted, and we need to make sure that any and all decisions that we make are informed by community, and the survey is going to help us do that. Now, if you're thinking, gosh, another survey, another thing to fill out, yes, that is what it is. And I also want to lay out a couple of commitments that we hope that you will hold us to. One is if there is any specific support that we can be to you to make sure that this survey reaches survivors, if there is anything that we can do to support and augment any components of the survey to help make sure that it is meeting people's needs, let us know that. The second commitment that I want to offer to this group as well is our commitment is to make sure that whatever information is garnered from this survey is shared with our partners. It is important that as we do this work together, that we maintain and hold ourselves accountable to transparency. So as we garner the information from the survey, we will make sure that we can share that out so that there is a collective view on those things that are garnered from the survey around what's working and what we need to work on to help inform next policy and programmatic changes in there. In that regard, I would say that, bluntly put, policy can either get out of the way and help you do your work and help ensure that the resources that we have available to help support survivors can do that, or policy can make it really difficult in order to do that. My perspective, I think the collective perspective, is that policy and programmatic decisions are not mountains, rivers, or lakes. They are not divinely ordained. They are decisions, and we believe that we can continue to make better decisions. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that we are hearing from and being responsive to people in the community, and making sure that we are continuing to center not only humanity but equity in that regard. So your feedback is invaluable in so many ways, and we will not move forward with any changes or any proposed changes to the ReOregon programs, also without first bringing them to disaster survivors throughout the engagement process. So we're not only here to restore and see where we continue to improve policy and programmatic decisions, but also making sure that we can help restore faith in the systems that are intended to support people when they need us most. So appreciate you making some time. That is our intention. If you have questions today, let us know that. But also, I would put an extended offer out there, is if there are questions or concerns that peak up for you after this time today ends, let us know. Days are busy, but they're never so busy where we can't get on the phone and talk through any concerns or feedback that you have to make sure that we can make this survey get the most effective use out of information from this, so that we can inform the next set of decisions and flexibilities to help make that progress in that. So we appreciate you. We appreciate the work that you're doing every day, seen and unseen, in your communities. So with that, Neil, I will yield back and turn it to you.
Thank you, Andrea. So the survey that Andrea has been speaking about will be open until 5 p.m. August 2nd. And once the survey closes, we'll compile the responses, going to review and assess for any potential programmatic changes, and then we'll be back in touch with what we've determined and what we've been able to glean from the feedback you guys provided us. So thanks again for spending some time with us this morning. We'll get those surveys out. Still have an opportunity to put some questions in the Q&A. And of course, send us an email at ohcs.drr@hcs.oregon.gov, and we will get back to you. So thank you again for spending a little bit of time this morning, and look forward to being in touch with you soon. Have a great Monday and a great week.